Hey VC, what is going on? How we doing tonight? It is Saturday night and it's storming like Norman over here. We're getting pounding rain here in Northern California, but it's welcome because we've had a drought, so any kind of rain we can get our hands on is great. So it's a good night for staying in. Before I turn the camera on, I can hear the rain falling outside. It's kind of a soothing sound, so good night to stay home, crack open beers, and listen to some music. And so I thought I'd film a video and show some of the vinyl finds throughout the week. And I got some pretty interesting stuff here, so let's get started. Before I do get started though, my band, Broken Undertone, we played 2 shows during the week. We played a Wednesday night, and we played last night throughout the region here. And on Wednesday night, we played in Folsom, and we played at a club that was only just a few minutes drive for the teacher, Robert. So he came. We played in a club that was pretty close where he lives, so he came and watched us. Stayed for the whole set, and it was good to hang out with him before and after the show. I haven't seen the teacher, Robert, a long time. Probably the last time we filmed the video together. It was the last time I hung out with him. And it felt good just to hang out with him, have a beer, and none of it involved records. It's just him watching me play, my band. But it was good to hang out with him. He says hello to everyone. Says he's sorry that he hasn't been making videos, but you know, work and family life has been taking up a lot of his time. But he hopes to get back into it really soon. He says he still has been buying records though, so hopefully he'll get reconnected with the VC very soon. But Robert says hello to everyone, the teacher, so it was good to see Robert. All right, let's show some records now before I keep you here all night. We're gonna start off with Depeche Mode, Violator, the 180 gram reissue. I noticed this video is already making the rounds in the VC. This album is already making the rounds in the VC. A few people have shown it already because it's a great album. It's an awesome piece of work, and I was lucky enough to find a copy for myself a few days ago, and I've been spinning it ever since. And now, man, this is a great album. Really nice reissue. Here's the inner sleeve. There's the lyrics, and there is the record. Really nice album. Really sounds fantastic on my turntable. Personal Jesus, Halo were some of the best songs on here. What I remember most about this record is when it first came out, the song Personal Jesus was pretty much at every dance club I went to back when I was in my 20s. Yeah, there was a time when Old King's drummer went to dance clubs. I don't know why. Can't dance worth a shit, but but I went to them. And I remember the song "Personal Jesus" was always being played over the speakers really loudly. It was a real popular song for the clubbers, so it was really cool to score this. This whole album sounds fantastic, and they did a really good job on the reissue here. I enjoyed pretty much every song on this album. It was really fun to listen to it. Listened to it a couple times. Definitely will spin it tonight after I turn the camera off. But Violator by Depeche Mode. I found this in a used bookstore and couldn't leave it behind. It's from Elton John, no title. This is a bootleg record from the Hammersmith Odeon, London, winter, December 22nd, 1973. Live recording the whole show on 2 albums, 2 record set. And this is just vintage Elton right here. It's a soundboard recording, probably radio broadcast. Sound quality is pretty good on this one. And I'll show you the record. They all look alike, so I'll just show one. It's on a phonograph. There's the label, phonograph. And it has a lot of classics. It kicks off with Funeral from a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. Great to hear it live. Candle in the Wind, Rocket Man, Benny the Jets, Honky Cat, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Crocodile Rock, Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. Those are the classics that are on here. Great to hear just one night of a great tour from Elton John during the early 70s when he was at his best, I thought. A very, very awesome bootleg to put into the collection. The cover's kind of beat up, as you could see, but the vinyl records actually were in good shape. Not much static noise, no scratches, no skips on it at all. Plays really nice. Soundboard recording, so the sound quality is pretty decent, and a good recording from a great concert. So really happy to score this. A greatest hits compilation from Journey. Journey's greatest hits. I got lucky on this. This is a 2-album set. I found it for like $8 in my record store. Both records are in fantastic shape. And there's the back of it. There's the gatefold. One of my favorite bands from the 80s, even though they were also from the 70s as well, Journey. But their 80s songs hold great memories for me, so I was happy to score that. And it is on Columbia. So Columbia Red Label. This looks to be 180 gram vinyl. It's really thick. Came with an insert. If I could just track it down here. Here's the insert that the album came with. Just showing the various albums that these songs are from. Lyric sheet on the back. 80s was a great time for the band. They were larger than life. I remember they even had a home video game named after them. So it doesn't get any bigger than that. Early 80s home video games. So really cool to put this in the collection. I know there's a volume 2 out there on vinyl, but I usually see it for like 25 to $30. To me, that's just way too much to pay for Journey. But this was $8. Both records were in excellent shape, and it has all the great songs that you can hope for. Wheel in the Sky, Don't Stop Believing, All the Young, I'll Be Alright Without You, Any Way You Want It, Ask the Lonely, Who's Crying Now. Well, you guys get the idea. It's Journey. But really happy to put this in the collection, in the Journey collection. This is a great edition. Love this. A forgotten record that I keep forgetting about. The Who, Face Dances. I remember Bobby Gass showed this album recently in one of his videos, and it's just one of those Who records that I just forgot about. It's during that period where Keith Moon had already passed away, obviously. I believe Kenny Jones, that's his name, was the substitute drummer to fill in, well, the substitute replacement for Keith Moon. And how do you replace Keith Moon? I don't know, but the band still carried on, and it came with a poster. So here's a poster, which is basically a replica of the album art, the front cover art. So really cool that it came with a poster. Was happy to see that. The big song in here is the hit single "You Better You Bet." I remember in the early days of MTV when they would play that song, the black and white video. It was a good song. And here is came with the original insert, but nothing really too exciting there. And it is on the Warner Brothers label. Yeah, I saw Bobby Gass show this on one of his videos, and it just made me say, hey, I've seen this record in the shop a few times, but it's just one of those albums I don't think much of. Doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just it doesn't really come to my memory that much. So really glad I remembered it this time and picked it up. Except from Queen, The Game, with the real shiny cover that just reflects light like crazy. And there's the back of it. Probably can see this album cover from a mile away. I always wanted to pick up this copy, the platinum copy. Of course, the big songs on here, Another One Bites the Dust, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, were the songs everyone knows from this record. Decent copy of it. It came with the original inner sleeve with the band photos, the lyrics, and white custom label from Elektra. Just to add to the Queen collection, which is almost complete, still missing a couple of records, but little by little we'll fill it up, and this was a good addition. Found this for like $3. A little bit of ringware right here, but overall still a great copy of the game, so we're happy to put this in the collection. Glad to have finally scored this album. I have friends here locally to me who are into metal, but most of them are guitar players, a few bass players. And they know I collect vinyl, and they kept saying I should get this album if I ever see it out and about. And I never do, and today was the day, and as soon as I saw it, I just grabbed it. From Helloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 2. I never see this out there, and one time I did see it, and they wanted like $25-30 for it. I am vaguely familiar with them from back in the early 80s or 80s, and so when I saw this, it's a decent copy. I think I got it for $9. Actually, better than decent. Actually, this is a damn good copy. This album jacket is in really good shape. And it came with the original insert with the band photos and lyrics and credits. Really nice. And it's on RCA, red and black label. So a lot of my metal friends, this was a must-have if I'm collecting vinyl from them. This got one of their highest recommendations, and I didn't search high and low for it. It's one of those things, if I see it, I'll grab it. If it's reasonably priced, it's like I said, it's like $8 or $9. And a really excellent copy. Vinyl's clean, jacket's in tremendous shape, and really happy to put this in the 80s hard rock collection. So Helloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys. Really happy to finally put this in the collection. From Sammy Hagar, this is a sealed copy of the album VOA. Sealed copy. Obviously it won't stay sealed for long, but for now it's still sealed. And this was the big album for him. After this he would join Van Halen as the new lead singer for Van Halen. I've never owned this album. Of course I remember the song I Can't Drive 55, Two Sides of Love. Those were the two songs I remember from this album. I don't think I've ever owned this, and I was pretty happy to find a sealed copy of it. I do like Sammy Hagar, especially when he joined Van Halen. The years he was at Van Halen I thought were awesome. That's the only time I saw Van Halen. Saw him during the OU 812 tour, twice on For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, caught a show for the Balance tour, missed the reunion tour because I could tell that was going to suck. But one of my favorite musicians, one of my favorite singers is Sammy Hagar. I'm not really that into him now because he's more of a nostalgic act now. But he keeps working. I'll give him that. Hagar keeps active, and now that he's made all his money and selling tequila and restaurants, music is just a hobby or an indulgence for him. So he's not putting on any sellout material. So we're happy to put this album in the collection. I dig Sammy Hagar. This was a cool find from The Church, 12-inch single for the song Columbus. Side 1 has the LP version, Side 2 has the edited version, and the song Happy Hunting Ground is also on Side 2, LP version. It's from the album Heyday. Once in my videos I showed a Church album and just said, that Starfish was my favorite record. Rob from Boston, Rob Penny, said, hey, you should check out the album Heyday, and it'll make you forget about Starfish. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find Heyday on vinyl, but I found a 12-inch single from that album. So yeah, definitely hoping to one day find Heyday on vinyl. That would be great. But so far, this is step 1 in getting to that. So Columbus from The Church. Okay, coming up from the Human League. On this album, they're just known as The League. Unlimited Orchestra. Love and Dance is the name of the record. And here's the back of it. It has all the pictures of those involved. I've never seen this before. And I was wondering why it says The League and not the Human League. Even though it's the Human League, and you look at the picture, there's the band members there. So why is it The League? I read on the back of the album. It says this album contains instrumental versions of previously released songs by the Human League, specifically remixed and produced by Martin Rushent. So And basically, these are instrumental remixes of some of their classic songs, like "Don't You Want Me" and "The Sound of the Crowd," "Do or Die," "Things That Dreams Are Made Of," and others. So it's just basically instrumental remixes of those classic songs. And I listened to this. I listened to side one. I haven't listened to side two yet, and I dig it. It's on A&M, and I dig it. It's just a different way to listen to some songs I know I already like from the Human League. So it was a pretty interesting album. I've never seen this before. So, and this copy was in good shape. So it was only a couple of bucks. So why not? Got to shout over that. Sorry. No, I did dig this album. It's actually really good. Something nice to have in the background while you're cleaning house or doing whatever. Something nice to have in the background. So really glad I discovered this album. Another greatest hits compilation. This one's from Fleetwood Mac. I had this on CD. Never knew that it was on vinyl. Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits. It was a good CD. When I used to invite friends over, we play cards. I would throw this CD on, just let it play. Everyone digs Fleetwood Mac, especially during this era of the band. There's the photo of the back. Really, really cool. It has the original inserts, and it has all those songs from Fleetwood Mac that people would come to expect. Most of it from the album Rumors. Really cool. And it is on the Warner Brothers label. Like I said, I never knew this was on vinyl. I always thought it was just CD only, so I was pretty surprised to see this one. Really happy to score it. It only cost me like $4 or $5, so why not, right? Again, this could be one of those albums I throw on while I'm doing whatever, answering emails, writing letters. This is something nice to have in the background, so a real big score for me. Plus, I'm a big fan of Fleetwood Mac. I like this. Plus, the solo album that came from the band. I dig it. All right, next album up is from Al Stewart, The Year of the Cat. Still haven't listened to this one yet. And what made me curious to buy this, if I'm showing you the gatefold here, because we've got back. I was watching a video clip of Steven Wilson. He was talking to the producer, Trevor Horn, and it was that old debate of how vinyl sounds compared to MP3 and iPods. And Trevor Horn used this album as an example. Something that sounds beautiful on vinyl, sounds like crap on an MP3. And I remember hearing the name. It's on the Arista label, so really nice score. So I just thought it was funny he would throw this one out there. Seen it in the vinyl shop all over the place, but can't really remember a song from it. I'm just not that familiar with Al Stewart or this album, so didn't have much of a reference to remember anything about it. So I saw this for like $2, and it's a great copy. Album is in great shape. Vinyl's real clean. Just watching that clip with Steven Wilson and Trevor Horn kind of just raised my curiosity about this album. So was really happy to score it. Didn't cost as much, so why not? So Year of the Cat, Al Stewart. This was a cool find from Simple Minds, Street Fighting Years. I remember when this album came out back in '89. I remember the song Street Fighting Years and the song Belfast Child, and that's what's on this album. It's a pretty good album. I wouldn't say it's their best album. Their best album, in my opinion, is Once Upon a Time. That's their masterpiece, and it'll never be topped by them. But this one wasn't bad. This was also produced by Trevor Horn, since I was just speaking of him. And it's a good album. Trevor Horn did a great job producing it. It sounds great. The songs are good. I wouldn't say they're spectacular, but it's a good album. Very good album. And I enjoyed listening to it. And it is on A&M. So Street Fighting Years, Belfast Child are I would say the more popular songs on here. And the one song I did like, Soul Crying Out was good, Wall of Love was good, Kick It In, that starts off side 2, that was a good song as well. Unfortunately, I always thought the band was never the same after Once Upon a Time, but like I said, that's their masterpiece. That album's pretty much untouchable. So how do you follow up a masterpiece? So you just gotta go in another direction. They kind of did with this album, but I'm still happy to put this in my Simple Minds collection, and it was a good record for its time, so there we go. Alright, well that's gonna do it for the album. Let me just show you a couple of 45s that I scored. From the band U2, the 45 to the song Gloria from U2. And on the B side we have a live version of the song I Will Follow. I love both songs. Early 80s U2, and it is on Island Records, and there's the label for it. Really nice looking record. I love the live version of I Will Follow. I've always dug that song. Such a basic, straightforward song, but a great one at that. So this was a big find for me. And the last one I'll show you from Pink Floyd, Learning to Fly. 7-inch single for Learning to Fly. I like the artwork here on the back. That looks pretty cool. I like that. And so that's the Learning to Fly. Also on here on the B-side, Terminal Frost and the song Momentary Lapse of Reason on the B-side. And it is on Columbia. So really good score from Pink Floyd. Been getting a lot of Floyd lately. In my last video I scored 30th anniversary copy of Dark Side of the Moon. I was playing in Holland. That was a big find. Still spinning that one. Still can't get over how great that one sounds. But these were some solid finds too. Always love when I can find some cool picture sleeves from Pink Floyd from their 45-inch singles. Really cool. I mean 7-inch singles. Well, that's going to do it for King. I'm starting to ramble now. It's been a great week of live performing with my band, and now it's just a weekend of kicking back, popping some beers, listening to music, and watching some of your guys' videos. Some good videos have been coming up at the VC. It's been great. Anyway, hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.